Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees to the Gita Daily program. So thanks for joining. So today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita Sloka number 41 from chapter 2. So we'll start with taking the blessings of the Lord, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maya Sudarshan, Gaur Nitai, Lakshmi Narasimhadev Panchatattva. By their blessings we shall understand the spiritual topics. So we'll recite the prayers together. Please repeat after me. You can remain muted. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we'll dedicate the session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. By his dedication and his desire, actually, the Krishna conscious movement has spread all over the world. And by his commentary of Bhagavad Gita, we are able to understand Bhagavad Gita in a simple way and also able to apply in a practical way in our day-to-day life. So we dedicate the session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we will be discussing Sloka 41 of second chapter. So I'll recite the Sloka. Please, you can repeat after me. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर् एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाख्यनन्दश्च बुद्धयो अव्यवसायिनम्. Repetition. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिर् एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाख्यनन्दश्च बुद्धयो अव्यवसायिनम्. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. We'll see the word to word meaning. Vyavasayatmika, resolute in Krishna consciousness. Buddhi, intelligence. Eka, only one. Iha, in this world. Kuru Nandana, O beloved child of Kurus. Bahushaka, having various branches. He, indeed. Ananda, unlimited. Cha, also. Buddhaya, intelligence. Avyavasayinam, of those who are not resolute in Krishna consciousness. So we look at this translation again. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branched. So we are actually trying to recap now what we are discussing. So yesterday onwards, no, I think we discussed that we have transitioned, no, from the initial theme where the Lord actually is explaining to Arjuna about the soul. So Krishna says to Arjuna that till now I have explained the Sankhya, right, or the analytical study of the soul, and now the Lord is saying that now I will talk about Buddhi Yoga, right. So yesterday we saw uh, the first sloka in that context actually. So the Buddhi Yoga, the Acharyas are explaining Buddhi Yoga is essentially the highest, the topmost yoga, or it is also the path of devotional service or bhakti. So our acharyas like Srila Prabhupada and the previous acharyas, they actually they describe bhakti or devotional service as Krishna consciousness. So the bhakti actually is normally generally used in a very loose terminology, right? So we can tell that okay, I am bhakta of this particular god, this particular. No, even people are fans. They are also called sometimes bhaktas. But actually, the real bhakta is norm is no is ideally to be used for the supreme personality of Godhead, which is Sri Krishna. So we will see in the future sessions more about how we understand the Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. But nevertheless, bhakti is exclusively meant for the supreme Lord. So so the acharyas, whenever we talk about bhakti, acharyas call it Krishna consciousness. So Krishna, because Krishna is the supreme Lord, and the ultimate aim of bhakti is to always remember the supreme Lord, right? Always remember him and always serve him. This is the ultimate purpose of bhakti. So by this process we can attain the highest goal. So there are different paths, in the spiritual life, and you can be devoted to different gods, and accordingly, you reach that particular destination. So based on our desire, and based on whom we are devoted, by practicing bhakti to that particular lord, you achieve that particular destination. But when we understand when we understand what is the supreme destination, or who is the supreme lord, then accordingly we will put our efforts in that direction, to achieve the supreme goal. So Krishna consciousness means to be always aware of the Lord, or always remember the Lord. Later in chapter 8 we will see that whatever we remember at the time of death, right, that actually he will decide our next destination, or our next body. So so basically the entire life is like an exam, sorry, a preparation for the exam, and the death is the final exam. So how we conduct our life, throughout our journey of this particular life, accordingly our consciousness will be shaped, and according to the activities which we performed in the life, we will be able to remember that particular thing at the time of death, right? So if you are attached to certain things, we will remember those things. But when we are attached to Krishna, or the supreme lord, we will remember Krishna. And if you remember Krishna, actually we can attain his abode. We can go back to the spiritual world where actually we actually belong. So this is the essence of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is synonym to bhakti yoga, right? And but then it is more specific or explicit, with respect to what actually has to be achieved. Let me stop sharing. Yeah. So in this particular shloka, the Lord is explaining that those who have taken the path of devotional service or bhakti, they have one-pointed intelligence. This is known as Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So Vyavasayatmika Buddhi means one-pointed, or no, resolute in intelligence, or determined, or he has one point focus. So when we understand what is the highest goal in life, or what is the most important thing in our life, because each of us have different goals, right? According to our understanding, each of us has different priorities or different goals in our life, and accordingly we shape our activities, of our day to day, to achieve that particular goal. And somebody is very serious or very fully convinced about the goal, they are completely focused on that particular goal. The only problem is that many of us is that we don't know what is the actual real goal of life, right? So we think, certain things are our goal. For example, I want to achieve a particular job, I want to get this particular job, or I want to get particular job or role, this particular role I want to achieve. So everybody has different goals. Somebody may want to become very rich, somebody wants to become very famous. But we have already seen that all these things are connected with our body, which is temporary, and all these things are lost at the time of death. So when we understand the spiritual topics, according to Bhagavad Gita or the Vedic scriptures, we understand that we are not the body, which we have been discussing in past many days. And when we understand the Atma is the real person, accordingly we have to reprioritize our goals, right? And when somebody is fully convinced that okay, this is the highest purpose, then their aim is completely, they are actually completely focused on that thing, and their consciousness and the intelligence are single pointed. So with such single point intelligence, we can make faster progress, in any path. So, and Krishna is also telling many brands, Bahushaka, and so those whose intelligence is not single pointed, or those who are confused or bewildered about what is the goal of life, so they have many goals. Their intelligence is many branched. So sometimes, today we think, okay, this is my goal. Today somebody may think, okay, I want to buy a particular car. Okay, so okay, my neighbor is having this car. I want to get this car. Okay, so then we work towards getting that car. I work hard work and save money and buy the car. But then after getting the car, within 1 month or 2 months, no, we lose the interest. That particular seriousness has lost. No? And then we see something else. No, then I see, okay, I want this. So this way, normally our life is multi-branch. No, we keep on having various desires, one after another. We try to fulfill, and then generally we are never happy, because as we discussed some time back, the soul is a real person. He's seeking for the eternal happiness of Sachidananda, which he has lost. He has experienced it, but now he is not able to, no, he is not having it. And is actually searching for that particular happiness. But then he is not able to find it in any of these things. No, we have discussed this material world is like a reflection of the spiritual world. Right? Everything that we see here is an inverted or perverted reflection. So these things are there also in the spiritual world. But then we just like, the attempt to pluck the fruit from the reflection of a tree in water. is not possible, right? It is not fruitful. Similarly, the attempt to find the real happiness or ultimate happiness in this material world is not possible because it is a reflection. So, as per the scriptures, the Acharya says this. So, that is why we are not able to find happiness in this. So, when we really understand the spiritual topic and what is the ultimate goal, then accordingly we should reprioritize our goals, right? And then we should work towards it. So, whenever we are in our original constitutional position, the original constitutional position of the jiva is to serve the Lord, right? So, this is the purpose of the real, jivas are existing. And when we are engaged in this particular activity, then we become happy. We can get the glimpse of the eternal happiness whenever we do devotional activity. So, yeah, to summarize the point, when we are not clear about our goal, or when we do not know what is the real goal of life, then we have many goals, right? And then we are not satisfied chasing those goals. And even in the path of spirituality also, there are many paths, as I discussed briefly, right? It is not that all spiritual paths actually real to the same goal. This is because it depends on the jiva's desire, right? We discussed that Paramatma is in the heart of the jiva, and the Paramatma sanctions the desire of the jiva. So different jivas have different desires according to their vasanas. So in the path of spirituality also, there are different paths. We will see later. Like there is the karma yoga, the jnana yoga, then the ashtanga yoga. So there are different paths, like the path of meditation. So based on the desire of the jiva, he choose a particular path, and accordingly he attains a particular destination. So so actually, even these things, like different paths, these are also sometimes confusing for the spiritual seeker. They are not clear. No, they don't know whether, okay, should I do karma yoga, or should I do jnana yoga, or do ashtanga yoga. But actually, from Bhagavad Gita, we understand from the Lord's instruction, Krishna is known as Yogeshwara. He is the supreme, controller of the yoga, or supreme yogi. And the Lord actually gives us the instruction, which is the right path. We will see in the consequent, subsequent sessions. So the point is that we have to really understand and clearly understand what exactly is the ultimate goal, right? And accordingly shape our activities of day to day life, according to that, so that we are have single pointed focus. Okay, so what Krishna is telling in Arjuna, no, Arjuna, Krishna is motivating Arjuna to fight, right? So this we have seen, because Arjuna initially gave various excuses not to fight, and now Krishna is actually telling, no, started giving Arjuna the instructions of Buddhi Yoga, and Krishna is telling Arjuna that you should not think about personal gain, right? You act for my pleasure. So this we will see in the coming days also. And also we saw briefly, the right and the wrong, right? Dharma, adharma. These are also having various levels of understanding, right? So from a material or mundane perspective, there are many material rules and regulations, right? What is good and bad. We have some understanding what are the moral codes of existence. So when we follow the moral dharma, we attain higher positions. We get attain higher birth, or we can even take birth in higher planets. But actually, the spiritual topics, or the ultimate goal which we are discussing, is beyond the normal mundane moral values. What is right and wrong. So the how to transcend the normal modes is by acting for the pleasure of the Lord, because ultimately everything is existing for the pleasure of the Lord, because Lord has created everything. Krishna is known as the Atmaram, right? So he actually, everything is for the Lord's pleasure. And when we align our activities according to the desire of the Lord, or according to the teachings of the Lord, then actually we can become happy. So Krishna is also giving hint to Arjuna, so that he should act according to the Lord's desire, because the Lord has arranged everything. See, Arjuna, we'll see later, is just an instrument in the hand of the Lord. The Lord is already decided what is the outcome of the Kurukshetra war, because everything is happening as per the Lord's desire. So Arjuna is being just an instrument, right? So whether Arjuna decide to fight or not, the outcome is already determined. So we'll see that in the future session. So the essence, what we are trying to understand is that the Lord actually is now instructing Arjuna about the Buddhi Yoga, which is the topmost or highest yoga, and Krishna is urging Arjuna to act, according to. So Krishna gave various logical reasons initially, why he should fight, right? Because the people who are seeing, they are not the body, but they are the soul, etc. So this kind of logical argument. But an entire end of the day, what we understand from the acharyas is when we act in according to the will of the Lord, according to his instructions, then actually we can get the ultimate benefit. So that is the summary. Now we'll see a small story about the determination. We have briefly saw that earlier. So it is a story of Dhruva Maharaj. So how one should act, with resolute determination in the path of bhakti. So Dhruva Maharaj initially, he was not much inclined to bhakti because he is a Kshatriya, and he was once insulted by his stepmother, right? Because he was trying to sit on the father's lap, and mother say that he is not qualified. Unless and until he takes birth in my womb, you are not qualified. So being a Kshatriya, Dhruva Maharaj becomes very much insulted. No, and then he actually goes to the forest to seek out. No, and he want to attain a kingdom which is bigger than his father. Even his grandfather. So that was his aim. So initially, though Dhruva Maharaj's intention was material profit, but on the way to forest, he meets Narad Muni. No, and who is a Devarshi, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So he actually initially test Dhruva Maharaj. He discourages him, saying that you are a small child. You can go home. Why are you taking trouble to come to the forest? No, and why do you want to do this penance? But then Dhruva Maharaj is very determined. No, his intelligence is Vyavasayatmika. So he says that my determination is fixed. Please, no, don't try to divert me. Kindly instruct me how I can achieve my goal. So when Narad Muni saw that Dhruva Maharaj is fully determined, he actually gives him instruction, how to worship Lord Vishnu. And he took so much penance and austerities, that even the devatas they become disturbed because initially he stopped eating, then after that he stopped drinking, then even he stopped taking breath, he stopped breathing also. So it was his penance was so severe, that when he stopped breathing, the residents of the planetary systems they also could not breathe. So that much, he was determined. Just he was a boy of 5-year old. So and within 6 months, he was able to get the darshan of the Lord. Right. So, but then by the time he became, by the mercy of the Lord, he became enlightened, and he gave up his desire, to become a emperor of the entire world. Like that was his desire. And finally, when he sees Lord Vishnu, he says that I don't want anything. No, the when I saw you, all my desires are automatically fulfilled. So then he understood, that whatever he was aim was temporary, by that time because of his self realization. So here, actually, the Maharaj story is a very strong example of how one can be determined, right? So similarly, all of us, we should take the lesson how actually we can fix up our goal, or our intelligence and mind on the path of highest achievement, right? So first, just trying to wrap up, what we understand in summary is that the Lord is actually telling how the how those who are on the path of devotion, how their intelligence are single pointed. So when we start practicing devotional life, we can see the transformation which are happening in our life, right? So gradually our clouded mind becomes slowly, clearer. Like it is mentioned that wherever there is sun, there is no darkness, right? So all the clouds of confusion, doubts, etc., they are dissipated, and slowly our intelligence becomes clear, and we can see clearly. Slowly we start seeing clearly what actually is the real goal of life, right? And with that understanding, automatically and naturally, we will reprioritize our activities. So we would naturally put more time and effort for that which is ultimately beneficial, no? And not slowly we'll reduce our effort and time on things which are temporary, which are anyway, will be lost. So with this we can try to practically apply, in our day-to-day life, how this knowledge, spiritual knowledge, we can be applying in our life. Yeah, so with that, I think we come to the end of today's topic. Are there any questions? So you can actually, as usual, you can unmute and ask, or no, you can put a chat message if you have any questions. Okay, so no questions. So then we'll end the session here, and kindly please keep joining daily for the Gita daily sessions so that we can continue understanding the spiritual topics. And one very important aspect of any path, like especially in devotional life, is association of devotees or satsanga. So whenever we are in association of devotees, continue to be in association of devotees, our faith actually becomes stronger, because actually there are so many distractions in the world. No, once we are in the material world out, so most of the people, they talk about how can we materially successful. So actually our mind becomes slowly diverted. So it is important that we always stay connected actually, so this spiritual topics, like no whatever, when we hear spiritual topic, when we read, when we chant the holy name, all these things is like charging our spiritual battery. It is giving food for the soul. So otherwise the soul actually is becoming starved, and then gradually it becomes weaker and weaker, no, and our material aspects, they become more and more strong. So it depends on which one we are feeding. So please try to continue attending the session. Try to perform some spiritual activity every day. I think at least for some time. Okay, so with that we end the session today. Thank you all for joining, and we'll continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.